Hi viewers, you're welcome to another episode of Staad Pro. In this episode, I'll be showing you how you can design an isolated pad footing in Staad Pro. The first step in doing that is you should have your model ready and you should have analyzed it. Alright, so you have your load cases and everything. The analysis should be there. Okay, so if I go to post processing right now, you see that I already have the that means I've done the analysis. So if that is okay, then you now go to Staad Foundation. To go to Staad Foundation, you come to Foundation Design here, you click on that, and then you have three options here. Number one, you can either use all support. So you have about 9 support here. You have 9 supports altogether. So you can consider all these 9 supports to create your foundation. So for example, if you want to consider this is a column, right? So if you want to consider a pad footing at the bottom of this column, and then for all of this, that means you have to consider all of the support. So I'll be using use all support. But if you want to select some particular one, you can just select them and then you use what you selected support. So I'll be using all supports. So all the load cases as well, I'll be taking them to Staad Foundation. So to do that, you just click on include all. So if you want to, for example, if you want to take just this one, you just need to click on that and then you click on include alone. Alright, so but if you want to take everything, you can just say include all. So depending on the kind of Staad Foundation you have, if you have the ordinary Staad Foundation, you have to click on this, and if you have the advanced, you have to click on this. So click on run Staad Foundation and that will load the Staad Foundation. Alright, here we are in Staad Foundation. So if you zoom into this, you see your support. Alright, you can see our support. These are the 9 supports. You can see this is 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. Wow, this is number 10, 11 and 12. This is number 19, 20 and 21. The numberings are a little bit off, but that is how it comes from Staad Pro, not from the Staad Foundation. You come to project info. Alright, so under the project info you see general information, so you can fill in your general information here, where you can put the project ID, the project title, and then all information that are needed. You can fill this up. So apart from the general information, you have the review history. Okay, so this is how much you've reviewed the design. So if you review a design, you put the date at which you review it and then the job name and everything. So based on the number of times you review it, everything will be here. Then you also have the modeling view option. This has to do with the view, so you can change the color of your arrow, change the color of your beams, and then this is okay, that's fine. And then scale, if you want to change the scale, you can do that here. So that is all on project info. I will just use the defaults. So I will go to foundation plan. So under the foundation plan, we don't need to do much here. You can just take away that. So I'll go to load and factors. Alright, so under the load and factors, basically what you need to do here is, if you want to add additional load, you can add the load here. You create load case and then you can add the load. But every load case and every load that I need to add, it has been added from Staad Pro, so I don't need to add it in Staad Foundation. Okay, the only thing I will do is I will generate the load combination. Okay, so you just click on generate load combination, then I'll pick a particular code I want to use for the design, and that will be British code. Alright, you will see you have 2 tables. The first one here, that's for the service load combination, and then you have one here that's for the ultimate load combination. Okay, and then you can see you have different load. You have the dead load, live load, wind load. You have another wind load in the Z direction. You have seismic load, you have flood, you have snow, you have flood. So all possible combination of load are here in the Staad Foundation. Okay, so all you just need to do is you generate this load combination. This is done, just click on OK. You also do the same thing for the ultimate load. You can generate for the ultimate load and then you click on it. So the way I did it, if you are observant, you realize that the load combinations have been created here. So if that is done, you can just close that. So but if you still need to change some factors, for example your soil bearing capacity factor, if you want to change it, you can change it here from 1.0, you can change maybe 1.4, 1.6 or whatsoever. Alright, so you can do as much as you like with this. So I will close that and then I'll go to job setup. Okay, so under the job setup, you just go to create new job And then the first thing you need to do here is you have to give it a name. You can see job name, that is very essential. You have to give it a name. Let me give it isolated, or let me just give it pad footing. All right, then under the job type, you have to select the type of foundation you want to use. So click on this drop down. You see you have four. You have the isolated pad footing, you have the pie cap, you have the mats, which is still called raft, and then you have the combined footing. So for today we'll be doing isolated pad footing, so click on isolated pad. All right, then to ask me the design code I want to use, click on the drop bar, and then I'll be picking British. All right, then the kind of unit I want, the metric, which is SI, so you pick that. So and then for the support, it should assign to all support, not selected support. Okay, so when you are done with this, you can also you generate your load. So you can see these are the available loads, so you take them here. You can take everything here like this. So you have the load in the selected portion. It has left the available portion, now it is in the selected portion. So you can now click on create job, and that will create the job. This was not there before because we've not created the job before, but now that we've created the job, you can find it here. So if that is that, then you just click on this plus button, then you can click on this as well. So you can fix this, your concrete and then rebar, you change your cover and everything. So this is the unit weight of concrete for reinforced concrete, 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So that is a constant, I don't need to change that. And then the minimum bar spacing, the bar spacing that I want to be minimum for this pad footing should be 50. That's not bad. Then the maximum, I want the maximum to be 300. So what is here is 500, but I can change that to 300. Then the strength of concrete, if I want to use 25 Newton per mm square, you can put that. Let me decide to use 30 Newton per mm squared. Then the strength of my steel, which is FY, I can change that to, let's say, 410 Newton per mm squared. Then the minimum bar size, I will use 10 mm. No, let me use 12 mm for the minimum. And then the maximum, let me use 16 mm. Okay, then should this be set as default, just leave it in no, and if you want it to be set as default, you can put that in yes. Okay, so if that is done, you can come to cover and soil. So what do you want the bottom clear cover to be? 50. I'll prefer 45. So the unit weight of soil is 22. You can change that to whatever it is. And then the bearing capacity of your soil, this has to do with your geotechnical reports. So what you have here is 100. Let me change it to 120 kilonewton per meter cube. And then the depth of soil above, that will just be 0. And then the depth of water table, this is 10 meter. Let me assume the depth of water table is very far, let's say about 25 meter to the ground. So that is 25. So if that is done, you can come to the footing geometry. All right, so you can also set all of this. What is the minimum length you want? So minimum length 1000 is enough. Then the width 1000 is not bad. Then the thickness, the minimum thickness, instead of 305, I will put 250 as the minimum thickness. Then the maximum length 12,000, that's not bad. The maximum thickness, let's say 700, or let's say 750 for the maximum thickness. Then the plane dimension, all of these are not bad. So you can go to sliding and overturning, click on that. Then you can change the factors. Okay, so if you want to change the factor, but I'll leave this at that, then you just come here and click on design. So it says, do I want to analyze or design? It will do the analysis and do the design all together. So I'll say yes. Then you just wait a bit for it to do that. Okay, so now it has completed that. Don't forget, let me go back to the geometry. You see that we have 9 column points. You have, this one is 1. If you look closely, you see that the label is 1. This is 2, this is 3, and then this is now 10, this is 11, this is 12, and then we have 19, 20 and 21. All right, so you can go to detail and schedule drawing. All right, so you can check your drawing, check your footing. You see that the width is 1.2 meter, that is 1200. All right, and then you have a cover of 45 mm. You can see you have a cover of 45 mm. You see the top bar, that's T12 at 300 mm spacing. Okay, and then what is the thickness of the pad base? That is 250. You can see 0.25 meter. So this is what you have. Then you can actually take this to AutoCAD, so you can save the drawing as DXF. So you can just see you have DWG. Okay, so you can save it as DWG, and if you want to save it as DXF, that is not a problem. You can either save as DWG or DXF, and then you give it a name so that can be opened in AutoCAD. All right, so this is how you do that. You can check your general arrangement drawing. Okay, so that's the general. You can see the column points. All right, so this is everything. You will see your dimension. And then another important thing is the calculation sheet. So you can go to the calculation sheet. Then for the footing one, just click on footing one, and then you see all of this. So you see, first of all, you see the diagram, and then you see the calculations, all the formulas, the tables, and then they are here. All right, so this is how you design an isolated pad footing in Staad Pro. So if you like this video, don't hesitate to give the video a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.